What about what about now? Can you hear me now? I'm gonna turn off now. Can you hear me now? Because after you said, yeah, could you hear me? All right. I just adjusted the mic, so hopefully you can. We've been here for about a minute 11 seconds, and we're just starting to vibe in the garden. But I set a about 25-minute timer on my watch right now because I really want to be ready to start in with the AC repair. So I'm not going to water per se right now. Just kind of looking at things. Got some rain last night, and the flowers are looking very pretty. Some of them, though, it's time to come out. This is neat what's going on here. Gabiosas, because they've turned into little magic wands. So, like, but some of them need to come out. Like, what is that? I don't know what that plant really. Maybe it was a scabiosa. But yeah, they're so cool. So I'm gonna let them continue going to seed, and I guess I could pluck some of them, but I'm not going to. But some of these I will remove, like the cosmos. Those could come out, and then look what's going on here. Bee balm, but it stopped going upright. I don't know. Are you supposed to trim those? I don't know. My first time growing. And then tons of powdery mildew on the zinnia, but the flowers look really pretty. It's hard for me to get rid of it because, like, when I pull out the car of the driveway, I go like, yeah, let those. I know, get rid of them. And then here are a bunch of cosmos that are too crowded. Look at that back there. This is neat. This was a dahlia seed, and now I think it will flower. That would be really cool to get a dahlia out by the mailbox. And then I also need to trim the bougainvillea, but I haven't wanted to because then I'll have to get rid of the flowers. So I'm just kind of letting things go wild. And this is like a mailbox project um, that I did as a flower bed. I think it was last year when something happened, like the kids didn't have school, and then I could really just do a project. Yesterday, I was working on the back fence line because I'm going to try to do some sunflowers there. But this little Rebecca happy, doing just fine. Yeah, so I'd like to just kind of look at things this morning. I'm getting ready to go take the fuel van in for some air conditioning repair. It's been very hot lately. The basket at Calibracoa. And then these spindly dills. I'm leaving them even though they're all going to seed, but saw a swallowtail on them recently, and I've been seeing a lot of butterflies. So sometimes I'm just letting things go wild instead of everything perfectly manicured. Plus, good luck. Did you see that jacaranda petal fall? Yesterday I was holding the tripod while I was walking around, and it gave me this ability to reach my arm up really high and zoom in on these jacarandas. But I'm going to try to do that. All these petals are falling to the driveway, and they are so beautiful, and it really only lasts a short time during the year. So we can handle the cleanup, but like when they say steak is too tender and my lobster is too buttery because how can you complain when you've got these really pretty flowers blooming all around? We've got a lot of flowers going on. Like this is the jacaranda, but then if you can see that red pillowy puff, that's the poinciana. And then let me show you this other shrub. Blanket flower is looking really good. Rooster coming. Oh, yeah. This is a sweet almond. And so you can see it's full of flowers, but that's really good. I wish that we had smell. Smell. If you have, like, if you know, you know, that smell really good. And then I was trying to zoom in a little bit to see if we could see any bees laying on it, but definitely saw the bees buzzing around it yesterday. Okay, and then this flower, look at this. This is the Queen's Wreath, and I just love when it gets the flowers like this because it's such a pretty show of. Oh, sorry for the shaky. I'm just readjusting. Um, yeah, so from like February until pretty much this time in the summer, and then this will be like the last bloom. It's really neat. Okay, and then this is an area worth looking at because yesterday I worked very hard out here in the morning. During that time, it was tricky because like the baby was inside dumping a box of cereal, stuff like that. But was being watched. Anyways, so I came out planting some rudbeckias, and then they looked so pitiful yesterday afternoon. But then, like this leaf is standing straight up now. This one looks sad, see, but it's still got some life to it, and they are resilient. But I had a situation where when I went to pull them out of another bed, they were covered in mealybugs. So I'm like scrutinizing still as I'm looking because that was really gross yesterday. Yeah, this one is a poor thing. So I mulched all around and now today, underneath the pedestal of the bird bath, I plugged in a few petite marigold seeds. And so I left that area sandy, but I did try to come in and mulch around the plants that I just put in. And then what else is in here are some clumps of Shasta daisies. Oh, hello. Thank you for commenting, Gempo. Gempo, sorry. Thank you for commenting. And so anyways, something else that I'm thinking about this morning as I wake up. Have you ever heard of the film Samsara? It is a movie by Ron Frick, and he also made the film Baraka, which I watched because it's one of those where they say, "Watch this; it'll change your life." But so, anyways, I went to bed last night watching Samsara, and it's supposed to be like a meditative movie. And so, anyways, it really is because when you wake up in the morning, you kind of have like those visuals from what you witnessed. And the movie is so interesting where it's taken something like 5 years to make, like clips spanning that period of time. And then they're just like random clips strewn together, but they're impactful. Like some of it is actually kind of disturbing, but then some of it is beautiful. And then it's also kind of existential because you find yourself asking, like, what is the point of all of this? what is the point of like life in general? You know what I mean? So I went to watching that and it really struck a chord with me. Um, so yeah, this garden bed right here is probably the space that's sparking the most joy in me right now when I look at the garden. And what's great about it is I really just threw in these seeds. I guess some of them were more deliberately planted, but it kind of just came out here scattering. So, like, this area here is a bunch of cosmos. And then right here are the titonias. And then this surprised me so much because I didn't even know that there was an amaranth seed in my seeds I was sowing. And then, like, down in there, got some sneaky rudbeckias starting to bloom. Also, that nasturtium in the front. And it's like a royal jewel or one of those kind of more purpley kind. And then down here, shaded from the rest of the sun blast, are some lavender mist. Oh, and one has just bloomed. Let's look at it because this is the coolest bloom of a flower. Some of them get more tangly and they look more misty, I guess. Oh, let me see. I don't know if I can focus that well. Maybe I can just see that. Yeah, that's lavender mist. What a beautiful flower. And that's a white variety, which is neat because they come in all different like pinks, whites, lavender mist, which is also um, known as Nigella. Yeah, so this whole flower bed right here that's bursting has got me very excited. And it's asking me, why didn't I just come out and throw a bunch of seeds everywhere, like that? Because that tangle is awesome. And then look, this whole corner, I need to come out here and take the weeds out. There's some ivy growing in there. So once you've got ivy, you'll just continue to have it, I'm sure. This is nice because there are one, two, three, four, five cosmos plants right here. Bunch of weeds are creeping in. Like, I don't know what this particular weed is, but it's like one that has these two petals and then that third one when it forms it looks like that. But those are the kind that I need to get out because if not, they'll develop like a root and they'll be really annoying in the bed because they are a ground cover, which is cool because honestly, I don't mind them being in the grass. It's just that in the actual flower beds, I'm trying to do flowers, not weeds. But I would like to work with more ground cover plants, anyways, because we've got a lot of kind of dirt because sand, because the trees. Yeah, so sometimes you just got to get into the bed here, the garden bed, and get the weeds out. There are so many in this little section, but those cosmos are good. And then, yeah, this area is where I stopped. But then over here, I've let things go wild because in this section, there's some petunia down there, and then also some phlox. Yeah, that phlox is great. I'm really happy with that. When they first become open, the centers are more defined, like a deeper shade of purple. I need to see about getting a gimbal because it's hard to hold it steady when it's especially like that close up view. But this is a phlox and I can't even remember the variety, but I think it was a botanical interest, botanical anyway, I picked up from Ace Hardware, and I scattered it not knowing if it would really do much because our summers are so hot here that I thought I might have missed my cold season window, but did do fine. So next season, I will be scattering more phlox seeds because that's so pretty. When they first open, they have like a deeper center. Gosh, that's hard to get a real good focus. But yeah, when they first open, it's more like this. And then when they are like fading, they kind of turn more like a softer center. And then down there at the base, I put in those petunias just by scattering seeds. So I've let this part go wild just because I've never grown petunias from seed until this season. And then I also never grown phlox from seed. So then I just kind of like put in the seeds and let stuff do what it was going to do. But like this, you can tell doesn't belong because it's not the same kind of leaf at all. But the phlox leaf, I don't know if it's just sprawling. Like, is this plant, the phlox, the same as this that's kind of like coming out from underneath it? I don't really know. Maybe I'll trace it back or something, but don't want to disturb it if it is, because what if we started getting more shoots of the flowers coming out? Yeah, well, time will tell. I've never grown phlox until now. Oh, and here's something pretty. Look at this. Oh, look at this. I was gonna go that way, and there's a spider web. This is a dahlia that I bought the bulb from Aldi. It was like 2.49, and it's been a really cool plant to grow because it gets big. Like the whole blooms by the time that they're finished, like they open up and they are like quite a large flower. We'll have to come back to do like another one when it's more open. And then lots of little shoots. Not the best dahlia mom. Hadn't had the best luck with that. And here is the patch of celosia. Oh hi. There years. 107. Thank you for joining live. And thank you for saying hi. Hope you're having a good morning. Just down here in the yard looking at things because we had some rain. We had some rain last night. And so I'm not watering like I normally would be, just kind of looking around and checking things out. This is something I'm excited to see because these shampoo gingers are coming up from the rhizomes underneath the ground, but they do totally die back. So I don't know if anywhere else they don't totally die back, but in my garden they do, and I'm just really relieved to see them coming back for another year because we had flowers last year and that was really fun to see. And I wish I would have done a better job harvesting that out of the ginger bucket because like it is a lot of it. You kind of like squeeze out, feel like you're milking a cow or something. You can squeeze it out of the cone. Okay, let's see what we've got here because oh yeah. So like the other day when I was over here, I saw that there were quite a bit of peppers forming. I've never grown cayenne before now. And look how they come out like long and spindly. And that's neat because there's like some flowers there. But then like that's a big pepper, you know? And then like that one also. Oh, and then look at all these little flowers in the top. That's cute. Yeah, and then so here's like poblano. Here's a yellow bell. Here's a hot cayenne. And this is the Thai hot. And then that one is a ghost pepper. And then these tomatoes I'm happy with because I grew them from seed, but I just wasn't having the greenest thumb or something, and my tomatoes kept frying even after a season. So these ones, I wasn't that intentional with. I just kind of had them going, and now I think they're going to be like a bigger tomato than the little cherries that we always grow. What's that? Basil. I love basil flowers. They smell so good. Really. Oh, whoa. I never knew that they did that. That's neat. At first, I'm like, "Are those caterpillars? What are those fuzzy things?" And then they come out of the canna lily flower tops. This is the first time I've grown a canna. I bought this bulb at Aldi for like a dollar. Maybe it was more than that, a little like 2.50. But at first, it started like coming out. Like it looks like a totally different plant when it was first coming out. And then like, so it's cool because like this will soon look like that with those more bulbous little pieces on it, spikes. Wow, that's neat. I've never seen a calla lily that close. And then here's what I'm thinking. If we chop a few pieces of this clusia, we could do some root starting hormone on them and grow some more clusias for the fence line. This area has been overrun with weeds, but I am letting the radishes continue to go to seed. And I found out late in the game that you can eat those, but they definitely taste way better with green because the more browner they are, I'd say woody, because Adam said he had one that tasted woody, but it was a little bit darker than the green one. Those flowers are neat. And the bees are all over them. Great. Yeah, so here's where I had grabbed that Rebecca from. Is this planter down here that I just kind of created for the rose. Rose needs some attention. But kind of thinking to leave these ones in place. But now I'm like scared of the mealy bugs because yesterday when I pulled out the other ones from over here around the rose, it was mealybug galore. I'm pretty sure that's what they were. Someone says zucchini bugs. Oh, here's some. Look. What is that? Is that a mealybug? I think. I think it's a mealybug. Ugh. Yeah, ooh, that's a really good view of it. Hang on. What kind of bug is that? It looks like a blob, right? Like it's not even look like a bug, but you can kind of see the legs sticking out. That's because that's a mealybug. Yeah, and then look the leaf behind it too. Well, cabbage. I have to get it off. I have to. You're done. You're done. Shredding mealybugs with my bare hands. That's gross to have to do that, but you know what? I don't really want to use neem oil. I should probably own some neem oil though. Oh, no way. I don't like that. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, mealybug central down here. Darn it. I'm gonna get out the hose. Have to get out the hose. But you know what? I don't know if I have time. I have 3 minutes left on my timer. I need to go get ready. We go to the car repair. This is cute. What kind of bug is that? Trying to like touch my screen to see if that helps. No, it doesn't. Ugh. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's lovely though. This Rudbeckia is doing really well on that side. I'm going to have to spray off those critters on the front here where I'm standing because pretty sure those are mealybugs. That is so gross. I think they might be kind of harmless, but then I think that they do make the plant susceptible to other illness. Yeah, so this whole bed is one that I need to really work on, but it's better than the pepper tree that was here the year before. So little by little, and then look at this passion flower vine. It has all but been eaten. Okay, I don't know if I can count them. Let's. Oh my gosh, they just keep going. Okay, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Did I get all these? I don't know. Three, four. Look at these ones. Lost count. They're just everywhere. And so we put this plant in last year, and the caterpillars, these are Gulf fritillary caterpillars, and they eat like the whole plant. Oh, they're really fast. It almost looks like time lapsed, you know? Whoa. Crikey. Cool. Okay, and then we had a bunch of flowers, but we only have one fruit because everything was just demolished by the caterpillars. Something. Yeah, so all the flowers are kind of died back. And yeah, that's a big fat one up here. Jeez. And then I've been fighting them all around the yard. My focus isn't that good on that. So it's been nice to check on things after the rain. Going to have to work on those mealy bugs. That's so. I mean, it's disappointing because like the pest, but you just this comes with it, right? So get in stride. Amber patch. I just wanted to come look over here. Sorry, at this project that I'm working on. And fine. Oh, this is a good time to stop and say good morning to the morning because by the afternoon they all close up, and this is the best time to look at them. Very pretty. Okay. Ducks. Ducks are out. So this is a project that I yesterday snake come out of. And the snake really almost seemed to follow me. It was communicating with me telepathically, which I felt kind of bad about because I wrecked its home. Literally, this was where it was hanging out. And I'd seen it here before, but I'm trying to fix our fence line. This is a real problem that after the storm, well, and these are just invasive plants. So this one in the front is a carwood tree, and then this one in the back is a Brazilian pepper. So my plan is cut off everything that's green and then grab bigger sets of shears or saw or whatever and cut off as much of it as I can. And then there's this trick that the neighbor taught me where you drill holes into the trunk and you pour in a mix of like Epsom salt and water to like make a paste, and you stuff that into the holes of the tree that you just created, and then eventually that'll dry out. It does take a long time. So this is problematic. Like, look at how badly this has grown into the chain link, which honestly, I don't mind if the wood would just petrify right in like that one spot. That wouldn't be a problem. I'd just keep there like a ornamental. But I don't want the pepper bush, and I don't want it to keep rebounding with life, because what I'd like to do here to start is plant a line of more sunflowers, because this is a view I get from the kitchen window, and you should always decorate your views with something that you really want to see. So yesterday I spent a lot of time outside of the fence trying to manage that. Pumpkin and sprouts still coming up too, and then the begonia that creeped in. That's so lovely. The morning glories right now are really pretty. By the middle of the day, they've all closed back up again, but this little garden is nice. And I neglected, like, I decided not to plant morning glories for a long time because everybody goes and like, no, you'll never get rid of them. They're a weed. They're invasive, and it is true. But then, like now, when I look out the window and I see them, I go, oh, this is really nice. So I'm gonna keep them. But yeah, that's about all for today. Thank you for joining me on this live. We check things out in the garden. I've got to get ready to go take the old car into the mechanic. So, see you next.